Hey, Duel fans, we are here to break down this week's episodes of Days of Our Lives with special guest, Mr. Greg Rikaart. Now, Greg, do you swear to spill the tea, the whole tea, and nothing but the tea? Yes, God?
Yes, goddess.
Let's dish.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Why, hello, all of you Days of Our Lives fans. Welcome to AfterBuzz TV's Dishin Days, where we give you a full recap of this week's episodes of Days of Our Lives. I'm your host, Tony Moore, and I'm joined by my usual gaggle of gals. We'll start to my far left.
Michael Mattis, how are you?
And, of course, the ever so beautiful.
Hi, everyone. Tami, Goveia.
And here for the Kiki, we have Greg Rikaart here. Yay!
Thank you. Hi, guys. Happy to be here.
Oh, we are excited that you are here.
So happy.
We have a lot to talk about.
Cool.
But before that, church announcements. If you haven't already, make sure you like us and follow us on all social media platforms. We are Dishin Days on Facebook and Instagram, and _Dishin Days on Twitter. The @ is implied. And if you are a lover of soaps, make sure you check out all of our recaps. We have GH Report and The Restless Rep, so make sure you show them some love as well. And if you're listening to us on iTunes, while you're there, give us 5 stars and a comment, because we love to hear how much you love us. All of those announcements have been brought to you by the kind folks here at Dishin Days. All right. Well, let's get right into it. How do we feel about this week?
I felt great about it.
Did you? You should feel great
should
about
feel
it.
great.
Yeah.
It's not easy to stand up to Mummy.
Yeah.
No.
Oh.
Sure.
Especially that mummy.
And you actually called her Mommy Dearest this
I
week.
did,
Yes.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
That was awesome. Because we've been calling her that for
We've been calling her that
last
since
couple of
she.
weeks.
Since
yeah.
I've been calling her that since this.
Oh my God, wasn't that the best?
That's
I
Tony's
loved
favorite.
it. Like that's when she stole my heart. I was like, I love this
What
woman.
was it when I was like, she's not gonna like spill any tea on me, and then she's like,
She's like ting 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 ting.
I can speak
Matthew.
for myself. Right? Yeah. Oh, she's the greatest.
But this week was like a really good week, and it gave us a little bit of everything from everyone.
Yeah.
Which I really liked.
Yeah.
So let's get into it. It's now time to start
Dishin Days.
Greg, will you do the honors of turning our
Yes.
hourglass here? Oh.
Okay, here I go.
That's what the gym's for. Yay!
Oh, the dramatics
the
of it all.
drama.
Well, since we have Greg here in the studio, it's only appropriate that we start off with his storyline with Diana, Leo, John, and Marlena.
Yes.
So, I don't even know where. Just the relationship that Leo has with his mother is like, it's so everything to me. Like,
Cool.
It's like you.
I'm happy to hear that.
Because you look at her as if like, I can't stand you, but it's almost like you kind of need her.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, familial relationships are so complicated anyway that even if like what's at the forefront is I can't stand you, of course there's like a million other things like I need you and I love you, I guess, and all these other complicated emotions underneath.
Yeah.
We kind of saw that moment with Mother when she kind of went into like a backstory about like she carries a photo of Matthew from when he was 10 years old,
Right.
holding a soccer ball and smiling. There was a little bit of like, oh, you're my son and I love you moment, but then, it turned and we got some more backstory and, then it just went back to square one.
I have to say, after last week, I was glad to see some of the warmth from Diana because she was brutal.
Yeah.
Really brutal. And I was happy to see you stand your ground, or see Leo stand his ground.
Well, I remember, just to try and give it some different colors and layers, sort of being vulnerable to what she was saying and hearing it and then being like, nope, I know what that is. I've fallen victim to that before. I'm not going to buy it. So, rather than just not be affected by what she was saying.
And it was quote unquote cut the ingenue act.
And then he's like, you can't pull it off.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
Ron has given you some amazing stuff to work with.
Mother Kyriakis? Come on.
Yeah, oh my God. No, wait. There was Zandy and like Silver Fox.
That was you, though. That
Like,
was you, right?
all of
you
it.
came up with that?
I don't think I came up with Zandy. No.
Wow.
Was any of the kitschy dialogue, was that all scripted for you, or did they let you kind of go?
I want to say 99% of it was. There was one or two things that I said, and I remember Albert coming out saying, "Say that, stick with that." But most of it was already there, and I think once it's there, you know, you don't need to gild the lily. It was all, you know.
See, we like that there's someone that is very familiar with like gay lingo and is kind of like sliding it in every now and then. So we're all for it because we've been trying to teach Chandler and Freddie and Chris Rashawn the gay lingo so that they can slide it in. Like we taught them girl so they can, you know, in case they're in the Horton Town Square, they can be like, oh hey girl, how are you? Or
well,
like,
I called Brady honey.
Yes.
And I told him he had gay face.
Yes. So we're here for all of it. But there was a moment between you and Diana. Oh my God! In my mind, we do this all the time. We always start like calling people by like but when she said that that moment that she was proud of you, and there was a moment where it cut to you, and you could see almost like that's what you needed to hear from her,
and hadn't.
It was like that moment of like, oh, she does care.
Yeah.
You know? Like, those are the moments that I like. And then it gets back into the bitchy, like, ooh, I hate you, I can't stand you.
Right.
Like, why are you here? Please go away, you're ruining everything and my life moments.
Yeah, but I think that makes you invest, right?
Yeah.
Because rather than just, like, these are two people that hate each other, you're like, what's really going on there?
Yeah.
And
it's a very complicated dynamic relationship.
Yeah.
And it's been, you know, Judith and I have a 15-year history.
Yeah, of course.
So it was kind of like putting on an old like glove.
Yeah.
But you know, the character. There's a lot of, you know, parallels between your characters on Y&R and your characters on Days. But it's you and Judith are doing so well at portraying it so differently because these are two very different characters.
Yeah. I don't think I don't necessarily think I like pulled on any part of our relationship as Kevin and Gloria. But what was nice was like there was not even a second of like, let's just chat a little bit and get to know each other. So even a phony off-camera camaraderie can sort of help what happens on camera. It was all there. You know, we have such love and respect and trust for one another. So that part was like nice that we were able to just jump right in.
And the chemistry, it's immediate.
Thanks.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
Now, was it, no, this is some behind-the-scenes question, like tea or whatever. What did you know that they were thinking of having... First, your Leo's mother come on and that she was going to be portraying it, or was it a surprise to you when it happened?
No, it wasn't a surprise. I knew that that they were interested in Judith for that role, but I didn't know how it was playing out. And then I was driving home one day, and on my phone started ringing in the car, and it just said Judith Chapman, and I was like, so I knew what that meant. And then wait, time out. And then she gave an interview with like Digest or something that I was reading, and she's like, and then I called Greg, and he was in his car, and she said, and we started laughing like a bunch of high school girls, and I was like, really, Judith? But you know, I suppose we did.
Yeah. I like, but yeah, the dynamic that you guys have is amazing. Like I truly enjoy it. Like ever since she popped into Salem, I've been just intrigued just by her, and then adding you to the bunch, it was just like, oh, I like this, and I like where it's going.
Yeah. It's I'm glad you like it.
And I like that Leo is finally rattled, because for quite some time since you came back from the dead, you've kind of like
been holding all the cards.
You've held everyone by the balls pretty much.
I love the
he wishes.
I know. I'm trying to hold everyone by the balls.
I mean,
literally everybody.
Okay, I'll take yours and yours. But I love the scene there right after Diana comes back. It's the end of that first show where Freddie comes back in, and he just has like
so
the
happy.
Cheshire.
Yes.
And it was so fun to watch him get to play it, because it had been like, you know, quite a few weeks of him just sort of being like
spineless.
Or sort of defeated because Leo was holding his balls.
Yeah. We also found out this week that Leo is a murderer.
Yes.
And murdered his father.
Well, and that was part of the confusion too, because maybe John was going to be Leo's father, but now it's sounding that maybe that's not the case, or
we don't know yet.
We don't know yet.
But I think John started like whipping out the calculator and putting 2 to 2 together.
He was the one that kind of brought it to the forefront.
He's the one sitting there nervous, like, okay, wait, she left this abruptly, and Leo is how old? Oh, that could be like another child that I don't know about.
But I saw on Twitter somebody was like, did she leave in 1990, or is that when?
Like 89, I think. 89, 90.
Somewhere in the 90s.
Bless you, Ron Carnivale, for making me 30 years old.
I believe it.
I mean, it could work. Yeah.
Yeah, how bright are these lights? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, listen, how many kids were born in the 90s and then the 2000s went upstairs and came back downstairs as a
That's
full-grown
true.
adult?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
you know,
We're just
that's
doing it.
so
We're
well
just
for you.
going a little backwards.
A Benjamin Button moment.
Yeah.
I mean, it's totally fine. But
Do we think that the father, like, okay, so it's going to play out, but do we think that this father that Leo killed, do we think that's someone we know, or is that someone...
see, I don't know, because
I was kind of thinking about, I'm like, who's his father going to be? His mother came in as a past character.
Right.
Now, is the father going to be someone that we know or familiar with, or is it going to be someone totally...
That's a good question.
That's my curiosity.
And I have another question. Do we know for sure that Leo killed his father? Or
No, I
have
mean,
we
we
just
didn't
been
see it.
told that?
We've been told
Right.
that.
We've
Yeah.
been told
we've
that.
been told that. That's what was said this week.
I asked in a kind of way, but it's actually because I don't remember.
No, this week there was a conversation that, and at first it started off with Diana saying, you know, would you like for me to tell Sonny that you're a murderer?
Yes, yes.
And I'm like, ooh, who
Yeah,
he killed?
yeah.
I'm like, ain't this the pot calling the kettle? And then it was revealed that it was a guy, and then it was revealed that it was the father. And it was kind of going back and forth with John trying to figure out if he's the daddy, and then you all saying that, you know, that you killed your father, but for good reason, and was trying to justify
Abusive,
that.
yeah.
But we could also tell that Diana still had feelings, and Leo is like, really? Like, you still have feelings for this guy?
If somebody gives
Like-
you a black eye, that,
Yeah.
it was really
So there was a
detailed.
lot going on. So
Yeah.
I first had to wrap my head around the fact that no one in Salem was Leo's dad, because I kept thinking, ooh, it could be Ted, it could be John, it could be anybody.
I loved Roman's comment to John of, has no one taught you how to not impregnate a woman?
I missed that.
Right? Oh my! When they were at the pub, and
Yeah.
John
Yeah.
saying, you know, Leo might be my kid, and Roman's like, really?
Yeah.
Has no one taught you anything?
Listen,
Terrific.
if anything, that lesson needs to be taught to everyone in Salem, because everybody just around there.
Condoms, Rose. Condoms.
Exactly.
Condoms,
Well,
condoms.
except Leo, and who
Leo-
like you know
Leo
who
knows what's up.
graciously
Leo's not
like
gonna
threw the
impregnate
condoms
Oh, yeah.
on
rose
the
petals.
bed.
The condoms
Yeah.
that traveled through the Kyriakis house.
It did, because it went from
It's a safe house.
yeah, it went from Leo's bed to Sarah's
Sarah and
bed.
Xander, yeah.
See, now to everyone like saying Leo's a villain, he's a caricature. Yeah, well, he's the only one practicing safe sex in
Yes,
Salem.
he's the
There you go.
responsible one.
There you
Morally
go.
responsible.
Very responsible. Although I will say, side note, deep down inside, I had really, really wished that Leo and Xander had got together.
Me too.
Seriously, Greg, the chemistry, really, just as actors,
Yeah.
it was off the
That's-
charts
thank
and
you.
unexpected.
Yeah.
Unexpected.
It was everything. It was cheeky. It was kind of like the power play of like, I have some info
Yeah,
you need, but
yeah.
I need you to do. And everyone was kind of like, you know, iffy about it. But I was like, y'all. I mean, not us. We were all for it. But other people were kind of iffy about it. And I was like, y'all, it's no different than when Kristen went to Brady and was like, I want you to have sex with me, and
Yeah.
then I'll tell you,
Right.
you know, the information you need to
Yeah.
know. Or
Yep.
all of Sammy's stunts. It was very soapy, but now gay soapy.
Right.
Yeah. And also, you know,
good for
I didn't put a gun to his head.
No.
He had the choice to make.
He thought about it.
Yeah.
Long and hard.
He did. With the banana.
That's right.
Oh yeah,
The
that was
banana.
great. And that was a case, unlike Judith, where our first scenes together, I had to give him this bear hug, and I had never met Paul before.
We saw that.
It's on the feeling, yeah.
I don't want to let go. So that was a case where, like, oh, you kind of have to dive right in and,
Yeah.
and find some you know, trust
Truth.
when you, or well, the truth was easy to play. I mean, you know.
Yeah, I mean, let's let it be known. He fine, y'all. He
Yeah.
is fine. Every time he walked through that Kyriakis mansion, getting ready to go to the pool, even though I was at my house, I went to my room and got my swimming trunks too. I did. Now, because I am a lady, I had to cover up.
It's like too much information.
Yeah,
in a
yeah.
wrap.
It's, you know, it's only appropriate
Yeah.
to have a cover up. But like,
Demure.
very, very. But I feel like all the thoughts that Leo has, like we have all the time about the men of Salem. So like when you
Right.
first saw Xander, you're like, who is that? I was like, I wanted to be like, girl, that's Xander. Like, he got all the muscles and everything. Let me tell you about Xandy.
Oh my God. Leah would be like watching like Days at home if he wasn't on the show.
But also my favorite parts of Leo in the beginning were also when he would always have alcohol.
Oh yeah.
And how he would always take the champagne bottle and like
like almost with a bottle.
Yeah, like almost Jan Brady out. Like
I feel like my exits got sort of more and more
swishy
and pronounced. The more comfortable I got, I'm literally like floating out of this room.
And we were here for it. We loved it. So John also kind of reminded Marlena about the relationship and the connection, since Diana didn't want to spill the tea to Marlena over their drinks, that, you know, there was a connection with them.
Because Diana and Marlena never had an interaction. No. Marlena was presumed dead when Diana Kova was on the canvas originally.
Yeah.
And I still thought John was Roman, or his name was Roman.
Yeah. And I like that, you know, John and Diana had a moment before Leo came in of just kind of reconnecting and kind of saying, like, trying to catch up with each other. And then, you know, old Sly John is like, listen.
Trying to work it
like,
after all these years.
I know there's still something there for me. You can help me out, right? This is like
massaging,
you know, just trying to get it out. But I don't know. I think Diana is a very smart woman, because I think what she is doing is she is going through and collecting all the tea that she needs to see who she can trust and who she can't. Because not only is she doing her internet searches, because every time the clip something cuts to her, she's always reading something and doing an internet search. Like by this time, she knows everything about Salem. And she always, oh yeah, I read that on the internet. I'm like, girl, did you do a whole Google search before you got here? Which is smart. But I like that she's just kind of collecting info right now, and she's not making any abrupt decisions. But something tells me
knowledge is power.
Yep.
Yes, she's about to do something. She's cooking up her own plan.
There's something strategic going on for sure.
Yeah. Okay, that was that storyline. And then of course we're gonna get to talk to Greg more about him and his life and Leo a little bit later in the show, and we're gonna take your phone calls as well, so be ready for that. Let's move on to Abigail, Chad, Ben, Sierra, Charlotte, and Jordan. First of all, welcome back to Salem, Jordan.
Chriselle Hartley.
Yay.
Love Chriselle.
She's the sweetest
phenomenal,
person.
Isn't she?
Yeah.
But cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs this week. Like,
So my question is, did we ever have an inkling that she was derailable?
No.
She was always solid.
Yes.
One,
I wouldn't say
right?
she was able to be rattled, I would say, but she never was like what you just said, like off the rails or off the rocker.
So I was really surprised that they're going down this road.
Yeah, it's a little out of left field for me, but I'm going with it, and she's doing it looking great too.
Yeah, she is.
She had time to do the braids in her hair.
Yeah,
Sierra was knocked
a little
out.
bun and all that. But she's just going through just taking everybody. She took Sierra. Then she went and stole Charlotte.
The baby, I mean, that's hysterical.
And I almost feel like that wasn't a full-on thought. Like, she didn't go there to take Charlotte.
No,
it was
she
almost
no.
Before she walked out of the door, it's like,
who's
I'm
this?
gonna take the baby.
oh yeah, like, oh, by the way, I'm just gonna go get the baby.
How can I use it?
And
Oh,
will
I would not live in that house if I was anybody. Like, I would move out. People come
doors
in and
don't
out of that
lock.
house. People wigs are being planted and babies are being taken. I'd move out of that house.
and Abigail said that. It's like, what is wrong with this town?
Well, yeah.
Oh, she did that.
Remember that?
Girl.
What is wrong with people in this town?
But
I
here's
kinda
the
chuckle
thing.
at that.
Why do people kidnap babies? Do you realize that they are more work than people? Like, she ain't got not one diaper or bottle or blanket or anything. The baby is crying. There's no heat in there. Like, what? I would have had that thought of like, nope, I'm good.
Or they should have played it out in real time where she's like, okay, I'm gonna steal this baby. We gotta go to Target.
Right.
She did come back with a bag. She did come in with the baby and a bag of supplies. So maybe it could be implied that she had diapers in there. Or,
Well, maybe
Or she
while
went to Target.
Or she went to Target.
True.
Yeah.
Like, but she could have just.
The Target on the way to the cabin in the middle of the
You know, I almost wish that like every now and then they would just give us like whenever we question what happened off camera, just give us that scene.
little tidbit,
So
yeah.
like her like in Target with like the baby like in the
music
cart
playing.
and just like doo, doo, doo.
If I buy 2 boxes of diapers, I get a $10 gift card.
Yeah, cutting out coupons, looking up the Target app and being like, oh, cartwheel, got it. Damn. I would sit there and watch all that. I'm like, oh yeah, good girl. I'm like, oh, get that formula too, because you want the baby to be smart.
Yeah.
Yeah. But she says that she's doing it to protect everyone from Ben.
Right.
Was anyone else confused?
I'm just I feel like we didn't get the whole story yet. I feel like there's more coming and more of it'll be explained. Yeah. Right now I'm just trying to go with it because, like I said, it is kind of out of left field. Like no, this doesn't seem like a logical.
Like Jordan.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It doesn't seem logical to me. So I want to see where it goes. I want to see what happens.
Yeah, and I really wish Hope and Ted would stop blaming Ben for everything. Well, I wish everybody would stop blaming Ben for everything. Like, Ben is just trying to get his life together.
The one that bugged me the most was Ted. Ted being all on Ben. I'm like, okay, let Hope handle it. Hope's the mama here. Let Mama Bear handle it. You don't need to be all, like, puffing your chest around.
He wants to get on her good side. Yeah. That's why.
So that bothered me. Hope, I still try to give her a pass because she's Sierra's mom. Right. And she's just being Mama Bear.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Chad going after Ben, that was, like, back off, Chad. Yeah. Just back off.
Ooh, you got real tough on that. You got a little hood, Tami.
Back it off. Everyone's breaking into his room, his hotel room.
He didn't break in.
He is a 3-time murderer.
Wait. No, he didn't break in. He knocked.
He did.
He opened the door.
Wait,
and
I forget,
Chad just went in.
Was this before the baby was?
After.
This is after
because it's Chad's daughter.
And Chad's convinced that Ben's taken the baby.
You know, he has murdered before.
But, okay, so...
Good point.
He was off his meds. He's now on his meds.
But he admitted... Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, I was going off on another direction. Oh. You finished your comment first.
Okay, so, Greg.
Yes.
Speaking to you as Greg. And then we'll get to Leo's side in a minute. Like, as a father, because you have a son. Do you, like, the way that Hope is with Ben and always, like, going after him and trying to be protective and everything like that, do you, like, understand her and empathize with her? Like, would Greg react the same way as Hope is when it comes to Sierra?
I mean, it's hard to say. You know, the bigger the kids, the bigger the problems.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You know, my biggest challenge with him, my son Monty right now, is just, you know, he's in a phase where he wants to hit a little bit, and he's not great at sharing, which is normal for a 17-year-old. I'm kidding. He's 2.5. So I'd like to think that, yeah, I'm sure that there'll always be a Papa Bear kind of thing. I also like to, you know, not necessarily be a helicopter parent.
Just kind of let him understand and have his moment.
Yeah, or like sometimes if we're at the playground, he's really sweet, and he'll go up to another little kid and say, may I please have your pen? Aww. And, you know, but kids aren't great at sharing. He's not always great at sharing. He's good at he's polite when he's asking. And if the kid doesn't want to share, you know, rather than be like, sorry, babe, that kid's an asshole, I'll be like, which is what I'm thinking. I'll just let him kind of have his disappointing moment.
Yeah.
And, you know, and so, but, you know, I mean, if his life was in danger.
Yeah. That might be
I don't know. I kind of like, I guess to answer your question, I try and straddle the line between being Papa Bear and letting him kind of navigate his own path.
So, verdict is Hope is too much. Got it. Okay. Hope is being too much.
You're such a good listener.
Well, you know. Now, wait. Leo hasn't interacted with Ben, has he?
Not yet.
That's another.
Because I wonder what Leo's reaction would be to see Ben walking around.
What do you think his reaction's going to be?
I mean, listen, if it's been anything like with him and Brady or him and John.
Come on, him and name someone he hasn't lusted for.
Maggie.
Well, for obvious reasons.
You don't know. You don't know.
Victor.
Off camera.
Victor has been off limits to him.
Yeah.
As of right now, but I want to see Leo and Ben, because I'll be right there with you. I'd be like, go after that too. Everybody can deal with a little bit of crazy.
Yeah. And like Leo, come on, like Leo, it would be a good combo.
It would be.
My crazy goes well with his crazy.
Two crazies. That's
like normal.
Yeah.
Right? We balance each other out.
Balance each other out. Yep. I don't know. This storyline is.
I'm surprised Marlena broke her confidentiality.
And I remember you saying Marlena will not break the confidentiality.
I know, I was like, that's out of character for her. And then she did.
So when she did, I blamed you. Like, Michael said you wouldn't go there. How could you go there?
Okay.
I was surprised.
She didn't okay. maybe, kind of, sort of, but not really.
But
No, she discussed the medication.
She discussed
where he was going.
Yes.
She totally broke confidentiality.
But I thought
Totally.
I thought it was for because of the investigation or the pending investigation.
But
or what
see,
they were
she
trying
broke.
to do.
She broke. At first, she wasn't going to, and then
And she was really adamant about it.
She was really adamant
Yeah.
about it, and then she just kind of gave up. I feel like Marlena just kind of gave up and was like, "All right, fine. Here's what I know.
She deserved
Get off
to
my
be
back,"
yelled at.
You know.
But I feel like it was more so for Marlena to look at Hope and be like, "Girl, like stop," you know.
Well,
like,
that's all she should have said to Hope
I know.
then.
She should
Girl,
have said, "Stop!" Like trying to
everything's
convince her in
fine.
another way other
Yeah.
than breaking.
Imagine that was the whole scene. It just cuts the two of them, and she just goes, "Girl,
Girl,
stop."
Stop.
Fade to black.
And Hope going,
or the eyebrow, the Hope eyebrow. I love that eyebrow. That's everything to me. You know
The
what?
eyebrows are characters of
It
of their
is.
own. Yeah,
It is.
yeah. You can always tell what Hope is thinking by that one eyebrow. I've always wished for that eyebrow secretly. Yeah, that I can't do it. I have to do it manually. I have to be like,
Wow, that's good.
yeah, I can't do it.
I practice in the mirror.
I can't either.
I don't have control of that.
and this is another break in confidentiality. Jack spilling to Eve about the
I
document.
knew that was gonna happen.
About the what?
I freaking knew that was gonna. Jack told
Remember
Eve at the
JJ?
very end of Friday's
Oh,
episode
yeah.
about
about
the immigration.
the
She's like,
immigration
what
thing.
immigration issue? And
Okay,
I'm like,
so we were all wondering how this whole immigrant storyline was gonna come together, and now it
No,
looks
it
like
is.
it might be like the whole headlining thing of everyone's elections.
Because you know Eve's going to use that.
Of
She's going to
course.
pry it out of him.
yeah, she's gonna convince him to use it.
Bad news.
Boo.
Oh, boy.
Ripped from the headlines.
Ripped
Yeah,
the
yeah.
headlines.
I do like how, sometimes soaps will, give us a bit of real life and real life
That's
drama.
how you move the cultural needle forward without banging people over the head.
Yep.
And that was pretty much it, right? Did we miss anything?
We touched on everything.
You know,
Yeah,
I have to
think.
say, for the sinners, loved the moment was at the end of Thursday's episode
Yeah,
where you
with
had
the
Ben
two.
sitting at the windowsill
That was the Olin Mills
and
moment.
Sarah,
The what?
The Olin
come
Mills
find
moment.
me. Oh, who?
Olin Mills?
Yeah, you remember when you took pictures when you were younger and you did Olin Mills? And you always had a photo that was like this, and then
Looking
another
away,
photo that was like
yeah.
this.
I never had one of those and was so
You
jealous that of every house I went into and I was like, they have one.
Oh, well, talk to Michael. Michael will put one together
He'll
for
make
you.
one for you.
Yeah, yeah.
I got you.
It's never too late.
But it has to be super
Not too
cheesy though.
late.
Like you have to have one that's like, and then another one that's like
Yeah.
praying to Jesus. Yeah, yeah.
But just a profile shot,
yeah,
really.
yeah. Think about it. It's very ABBA.
Well, let's bring him back.
Yeah. Oh, I'm all with it for bringing Olin Mills back. I took some of the best pictures in my Olin Mill years. I did. But yeah, that was a very sweet moment
That
of
was.
just showing what the connection that they have. You know what I mean? Like, even when she kind of appeared in like that sort of haze.
He was dreaming about her.
dream,
Yeah.
Yeah. And she was just like, lay down, get some sleep, come find me. And I'm like, oh, that's how it works? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, go after her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go get yours.
Go get it. All right. So now we have Chloe, Stefan, and Brady.
And Victor.
And Victor.
So precious.
So that escalated quickly. So Chloe
Yeah.
found the knife that she stabbed Mateo with, and then like 2.5 seconds, the goons came in, and then 3.5 seconds later, people were getting shot.
Right.
And one of the goons turned tail and ran away.
You know what? Listen, I would have been like him.
Exactly.
As soon as Stefan was like, "I'm a Demera, my dad is alive, he'll come after you," I would have said, "Nope," and then just would have walked
Yeah.
Now we're there.
Oh,
right
cool.
out.
All right.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
Where
We're good.
exits this way?
it's like, I'm sorry, where do I go? Okay, got it, thank you. I'll take my hamburger to go. But the other guy was just like, nah, I'm gonna like stick this out. And then Stefan ends up getting shot, and then there was a moment where they were wrestling for the gun, and Chloe was just kind of standing there like, what do I do? And I wanted to be like, girl, you've been through this situation before.
Right.
Like, hop in there. Like, you know how to like stab, shank, do something to somebody.
yeah.
Like, get in there.
She was in shock.
She was.
In
But
shock.
I fear for her. But do we like Stefan and Chloe?
They're okay. You know, they had a moment last year when Stefan was first introduced and the whole
They had chemistry
DID
back then,
storyline.
yeah.
And they did have
They did,
chemistry, and
yeah.
I feel like I was like, oh, maybe they're going to explore something, and I know Twitter fandom was all for it. I feel like it was a missed opportunity, yes, and I feel like maybe they're exploring that opportunity now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think they're
I like
good.
them. Yeah.
Greg, are there any ships that tickle your fancy besides you and Xander, Brady, Leanne? Because the Sinners one is like,
I like the Sinners. That's a good one.
Just know that the Sinners are now going to take this little clip.
They keep receipts
and post it everywhere.
Receipts
So
and yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like the JJ
and Haley.
And Haley.
Yeah.
I like that one too.
It's because it's complicated and messy, and so that sort of and and Wilson. Let's give Wilson some credit.
Yeah.
And it's fun being the thorn that is the preventative measure in their happiness.
Listen, we thought we had got rid of Leo and he was wrapped up in that rug and they could go on by their happy lives, and then somehow he went into some incubator and like came out and was like, bitches, I'm back. And we were all like, whoa.
Okay.
Yeah, well, they deserve some heat for like rolling me up in a rug.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not clean. Their hands aren't clean.
Yes.
Either. So
anyway, so those there's a lot of
Those
good
are
cool. Those are my ships.
Those are good ones.
They are.
you just scored a lot of points with the Wilson fans right now because they are another ship that will call you on your whatever ship. Yeah.
I do like that Brady was trying to help Chloe. Victor was not having it.
No. Victor's just tired of having house guests.
He calls her bad names.
He calls everybody bad.
I
It does get a little
know.
like I said this a couple
He's
weeks ago. Like Victor, his lines when they're like more clever than cruel, that's when I enjoy his curmudgeonness. But when he's just like
His
calling
what?
someone
Slut.
a curmudgeonness.
Okay.
He is
That's a word,
so
right?
funny
Yeah.
and so dry.
Oh my God.
The dry, yeah.
I was just looking at some Emmy tapes, and I was watching the wedding stuff, and when he just looks at T-Boz, and she was like, "This is the worst wedding I've ever been to." He goes, "I want you out of my house." It's just so dry and so simple. Yeah,
I can hear
he's
his voice.
so funny.
He's always been great for like the one-liners, but it sums up everything that needs to be said. If there was a Shady Award, Victor would definitely get
yeah.
it.
Hands
King of Shade,
down.
yeah.
Well, because it's so subtle. Like you're not
Yeah.
expecting it, and it's it's always a nice surprise.
Yeah.
He just slides them in so good. Good for you, Victor. John Anderson.
John Anderson.
So now Chloe is moving into the Demir mansion.
Yes.
She was rejected from Victor and the Kyriakis.
Yeah.
She went to see how Stefan was, and Stefan was just like, "Move me here." He was very excited about it.
Well, because she said I would have preferred to move into the Kyriakis mansion
Because it's a
they
fortress.
have the fortress
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they have protection and everything like that. And listen, I would have been right there with her.
Yeah.
I would have walked
Right.
in with a bag like, can I move in here? Because just keep me up in like the West Wing.
Yeah, there's a bedroom next to Leo's.
And all the things that talk about someone who collects tea. Chloe would have
Chloe
had all
and
the tea
Leo.
on Leo.
She's just got her cup
Sitting
up
there
against
just
the
listening
wall.
like, what's happening? What's going on? Oh, Leo.
Who's he got in there now?
But I understand she shooketh right now because they're coming after her and they text her and was like,
That was scary. I didn't expect that.
yeah. Well, so I would have moved into the Demir mansion too, any mansion that had just something, just protect me. Just don't go to the Salem PD.
I feel
'cause they're
unsafe. I need a
shaking.
Or the
mansion.
Horton.
Yeah, right. Put on Craigslist. Mansion needed for protection.
I'm feeling vulnerable.
feeling vulnerable, lonely, and scared.
Fortress required.
Yes. Security, please. And I think that's it for that storyline. All right. So now we have a little bit of AfterBuzz TV news brought to you by our wonderful co-host, Tami Goveia.
Well, okay, so guys, before we move on to our other exciting, dramatic topics, we want to thank you, first of all, for making us here at AfterBuzz TV the ESPN of TV Talk. For us to continue to grow, we need your help. If you are on YouTube right now, hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. And if you're on iTunes, please give us a 5-star rating. But no matter where you are, leave us a comment so you can get involved in the conversation. And our chat room is blazing, so thank you for that. Being a part of AfterBuzz TV has meant so much to all of us because we really do appreciate your support. We love what we do, so we appreciate the support. Don't forget to tell your friends, and please keep enjoying our shows, all of them.
Yes. Thank you,
That announcement
Tami.
brought to you by the kind folks here at AfterBuzz TV.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into some tidbits. We'll rush through these and then get to our segments, and then we'll have plenty of time to talk to Greg about all things Greg.
I like it.
All right, so Eric, Sarah, and Rex.
Loving Rex. I mean, we're fast forwarding a little bit, but loving Rex and Sarah coming out of the bedroom. Her and her little.
Kyle Louder and his skivvies.
Yeah, and him and
was
his
like-
this like, Lord Almighty.
Oh my gosh, I had
Oh
that.
my God.
I did that same face. Like when he walked around the corner, I was like, oh.
And then he walked in front of that lamp, and I was like, well, okay.
Well, move. It's one of those moments where like they walk behind something and you kind of go,
Just hoping.
like knowing full well you can't see anything, but you just kind
So,
of just a little bit.
turn the computer on.
Right. Really, is there anything?
That was hysterical.
I'm still having trouble getting invested in this little triangle.
Only because
I don't know why, but I watch it and I'm like,
Well,
Eric's still upset. Eric's still mad.
he's very upset.
Sarah took Rex back after cheating on her twice, once with his sister. I'm
She
like,
don't
you're
want
really...
him though. She don't want him. She don't want him.
Well, it's clear. Like, but I don't know.
But I think Eric's upset now about Sarah being with Rex.
Exactly.
It's not
Again,
so
he's
much,
upset, like-
yeah, he's not upset anymore about what Sarah did. He's now upset
Well, no, they
about.
had that moment and he forgave her.
Yeah, he
and
forgave her.
whatever.
Well, officially.
I'm glad that Marlena called it out and was like, are you feeling anger because, wait, how did she put it? Basically,
Because
Sarah went with Xander
right.
because he turned her down. And I was like, there's something there. That's
Yeah.
why he's so upset.
Yeah.
Because had Eric just went ahead and gave it up to Sarah, Xander would have gave it up to Leo. I mean, I'm just saying. Because he wouldn't have went floating around all throughout the middle of the night with no shirt
Those
on.
gray sweatpants.
Yeah, he would have had somewhere to be.
Yeah. And to be would have been right there in that bed with Leo. Because I know had it been me, I'd have fell
should've-
asleep like this.
I should have tied him to that damn bed.
Okay.
I mean, you know that there's rope available.
It's Salem protocol. You should know these things.
Yeah.
Go to
Always
Target.
always have rope
Go to
on.
Target run.
Target
Target
run.
run and done.
This three they're complicated only because I think we all are like Sarah and Rex shouldn't be together.
Yeah.
And I think we like Sarah and Eric together. And it's one of those things where it's not like the usual soap where it's kind of like, how do I explain this? Where they're with the wrong person, but we're okay with it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Where it's like, all right, well, if you can't be with that person, then we're okay with you with that person. Like, this is flat out like a no girl, you
yeah,
should not be with
yeah.
Rex. You know what I mean? Like, and Eric stopped walking around Salem being so upset.
Exactly. That's one of my problems. It's like Eric has just been brooding for like
Pouty.
the past year.
Yeah.
And it's like give him something more. Give him a better. I want better for Greg Vaughn. A better storyline for Greg Vaughn. And I want a better story for Lindsay Godfrey because I believe she's a powerhouse. And I don't think we've seen we've
Just
seen
the
like
tip.
the tip exactly.
yeah.
And I feel like if they gave her something really spectacular, she would
Yeah.
blow it away. And so that's that's maybe my frustration.
Yeah, they're both wonderful.
Yeah.
She has a healthy sex appetite.
Lindsay?
Yeah.
Oh.
Sarah.
Sarah.
Stop it!
In breaking news, Lindsay Godfrey has a healthy sex life.
You heard it here first.
Heard it here first. All right, so now we have JJ, Haley, and Melinda. Once again, JJ and Haley shared their first kiss, which is okay.
No, it's not because he's got that secret.
Who?
What's it?
JJ and Haley. JJ's got that secret about spilling the beans to Jack.
Oh.
And just going there,
okay.
he should not be kissing her. That's wrong.
Oh.
You are upset.
Okay.
That's not right.
There's a lot of things in Salem that aren't
Like
right.
he should be like, no, I
it's
gotta
not
tell
right,
you
but
this.
it's okay. That's what my good friend Whitney said.
She's
not
gonna
right.
make
It's
it
okay.
anyway.
I'm glad. See,
But she didn't, and so you see how
yeah.
that worked out.
Otherwise,
Sorry,
R.I.P.
I was insensitive.
No, it's okay. It's all right. It's totally fine. Joan Rivers said it's never too late or too early.
Good. Okay.
So I do like their ship, but it's so complicated with already. It's always like relationships start with a secret.
Right. Or
Yeah.
a complication.
Yeah, and I still feel bad for Melinda and Haley because Melinda's just always trying to cover her tracks and not really concerned about Haley. And Haley's just like
there is moments
way.
where Melinda expresses concern for her, like they're just moments. But in the
only concern in making sure that the secret doesn't get out and it doesn't ruin her chances of being mayor.
Yep.
Which, by the way, I'm actually loving the fact that they brought this character in because I like the woman who plays Melinda. Like she's such a hard ass. Mm-hmm. Can I say hard?
Ass.
So, yeah. I don't know. And now with the mentioning of, like, everyone worrying about immigration, like, even when Abe and Melinda and Eve were standing there, and then Eve was like, Melinda, what do you think about immigration? She was like, I gotta go to the meeting. And then and Eve made that look like there's something there. And I'm like, oh, here we go. It's gonna be this whole center thing, and then there goes the downfall of JJ and Haley. So now all you gotta do is sit here and go like this and just wait for the shoe to drop.
Yeah.
Because Haley's saying, I trust him more than anyone I've ever trusted in my whole life. And her saying to Melinda, and when Melinda found out that Haley had told JJ.
Yeah.
That's really going to be bad.
She was like, girl, I'm going to find you somewhere else to live.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like, that scene in Titanic before they hit the iceberg. And you're like, I know what's coming.
It's coming.
Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of that, I still think Rose could have.
There was room for him on that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, just let that boy freeze. Talking about Jack, come back. Well, he could have came back and you had scooted over. All right, now moving on to we just mentioned Melinda, Abe, Jack, and Eve. So yeah, that whole thing happened in the square, and Eve was trying to keep from Jack what happened with Charlotte.
Yeah,
she's always trying to keep away information.
She's trying to keep him away from Jennifer.
Yes,
because in Eve's mind, something like that could trigger his memory to come back.
Right.
So Eve needs to keep him close to her.
Yeah.
To control the narrative, so to speak.
Oh, and going back, when Ben came out of nowhere and approached Marlena about what happened.
With Eric,
Wasn't that like I got scared.
Yeah.
Like, but Marlena was the face that she made before they cut was almost like she had like clutched her pearls and held herself back like
but she said to Eric,
fear.
I got this.
Yeah.
There was no fear.
Not in fear, It
wasn't in fear. It was almost kind of like
all up in Ben's face. Like, that was awesome.
And he kept trying. He kept like pushing, like making sure he stayed like a safe distance. And I was just like, all right. But Marlena was really like
cool, calm, collected.
Yeah, like I know what I'm doing
Dr.
here.
Marlena
now that's
Evans.
in character of Marlena.
Yes.
Oh, totally. She's like, I'm fine.
Yeah. It's like, don't worry, Eric. I have this. Ben. And I'm like, oh, okay. You are in control. Like, listen, that's a woman who's
what Marlena's been through, though. Like, all the kidnappings.
It's like, what else? I almost feel like in Salem, instead of teaching your kids sex ed, you should also teach them kidnapping 101.
Yes.
Like how to avoid escape, how to avoid death, and how to come back. You know what I mean? Like things like that. Those are important lessons. And then last but not least, Eli and Lonnie had their moment.
They're loving. I love you. I love you.
Yeah.
Now they're in love.
And they're just, having a good time in bed and rolling around and then get the work call.
Being all beautiful together.
Right.
Yes.
Isn't it so sweet?
Not knowing what Miami Vice is.
I was just going to say Eli not knowing Miami Vice. And
Crockett and Tubbs.
Yes. That was hysterical.
Was it Eli that didn't know or Lonnie?
It was Eli.
No,
and Lonnie's like, how can you be a cop and not know Miami Vice?
Yeah.
But then even on Twitter, Lamone was saying, seriously, I didn't know anything about Miami Vice. Like the original one.
Really?
The original.
Who didn't?
Lamone.
Lamone?
Yeah.
Well, it's, how old is Lamone? Do we know?
He's young. He's a youngin', so I kind of get it.
30-ish.
Maybe
it's before his time, yeah.
Yeah. No, definitely.
Not before mine, because I heard
Well, great. That makes me feel old, because I remember.
Yeah.
I remember Miami Vice.
Me too.
Yeah.
I had a white
a blazer. Oh my god.
Oh god.
And you wore no socks?
Probably.
Right, probably.
All right. Well, that's been your week of days.
I think so.
And now it's time for our segments. Now, Greg, I'm going to forewarn you. This is where it gets super silly. So there are sound cues.
Because it's been so serious.
I know it has.
Yeah.
Super serial, guys.
We're so morbid.
So brace yourself.
Okay.
Because our segments are coming. And we're going to start with mine, which is Tony's official 3 Snaps Award.
Oh, snap!
All right. So I had to give my 3 Snaps award to a woman who knows how to Netflix and chill. Just when you think that someone who is of a woman of a certain age doesn't know what that term means, she looks back at you and says, "Oh, honey, I know what that means. What happened was, before we got to the chill part, Doug fell asleep." And I was like, "Yes, Julie, you gotta try to Netflix and chill." So my So my 3 Snaps award goes to Julie, who knows how to Netflix and chill. Oh, snap! All right, and now it's time for...
I got it.
Caption there!
All right, this week's caption is of the chokeout between Ben and Chad, and this week's caption goes to Susie Q at LovedMay14 on Twitter, with her caption of Ben saying, "For the love of God, just once, can someone other than Leo or me be slugged, slapped, or choked?" And that was this week's caption.
Oh. Caption there! All right.
That was it.
And now it's time for... That sounds like such a 1980s, like...
It sounded like Naomi Smalls.
Pose.
So this week, it's going to Miss Chriselle Hartley.
Yes.
Because Jordan is literally dressed to kill. She's wearing a frock by Veronica Beard. It's a comfy ruched dress, which has metallic stripes, which you really can't see in this picture, unfortunately. Has some muted hues and side snaps, which you can't see as well.
Side snaps.
I know, right? I'm kind of wanting this ruched dress. So, Designer Days Spotlight is going to Miss Chriselle Hartley.
Yes.
Congratulations.
All right. Now, in just a few minutes, and I will put up the phone number once it's up on the board, because I have totally forgotten what our number is because it's been so long since we've taken phone calls. We're going to take a few phone calls for you all so that you can call in live and chit-chat with us. But before we do, we here at Dishin Days have been celebrating our 4-year anniversary on Friday, February 8th. 4 years ago, we started this lovely show. And of course, we couldn't talk about our anniversary without one of the legs and dairy of the show. Mark J. Freeman is now joining us.
I would have worn short shorts if I knew that was going to get that intro. Hello!
Hi.
Did you just chop her in from somewhere?
I did. I thought I'd wear the
Okay.
shades. I think I did that one in the first episode, so I thought, I'm going to wear the shades, and I'll take them off.
No, in the first episode, you had flat hair and
I
no
did.
shades.
Do we have
I was
can we
shocked
throw to
when I
that
saw
that video?
That 12-year-old
I don't think they
picture.
have it.
We did
What
not
kind
have a
of-
video.
Huh?
Who produced this?
No idea. No idea. No idea who produced it. But
You know what I was going to do, though?
What?
I was going to come barreling in as if I were Leo in Salem and just start kissing everybody.
Well, you already have the hair.
Yeah. Now the question is, who was going to have the higher hair, because there was.
It depends.
You win.
It depends how long I wait to get a haircut.
Oh, I see.
Because it's recent, so it's not as big today.
Not
I
as
keep
close
looking
to
for the
Jesus as it
photo.
can be.
There's going to be no
I
photo.
should just not
I
worry
asked in
about
the
it.
chat
We're
room
supposed to
every
do this.
week, does anyone want anything? And you were silent.
No,
so.
it's okay.
Very silent.
There it is.
Is it there? No.
But we want to say, 4 years ago we started this show specifically because AfterBuzz had never had a show dedicated to the soaps. They did Young and the Restless, but they didn't have one for any of the soaps. And I thought, well, since I've been watching Days since I was 14 and I knew most of the cast and everything like that, this would be a breeze. And for 4 years, like going through all the photos and everything like that, I didn't realize just all the shenanigans that we have done and all of that.
Has it been
stuff.
a breeze?
Dramatic pause.
Next
What's
question.
the next step up from
Right?
a breeze?
16.
like a high wind
Category
warning.
5 hurricane.
Rolling through. Really quick before we go into phone calls and chit-chatting with Greg and getting all the tea from Greg, what has been a great moment for you guys doing this show?
Probably being at the daytime Emmys.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
I wasn't there for the actual Emmys. I was there for the the technical Emmys, but it was still like I had never been on a carpet before. I'd never been in a press room before, and it was just kind of like it was like the first time I stepped out of my car when I moved to LA. I was just kind of like
starstruck.
Yeah, and I my words never came to me, and it was exciting. It was
That's
fun.
awesome.
Yeah.
Nice. Tamala?
I didn't expect the enormous fan base response. Like I knew just in the soap opera world in general, there's no other fan base like them for the soaps. But just being able to engage with everyone, and that's been really fun. That's been super fun.
And Mark J. Freeman, who has been here since day one.
Yeah.
Day uno.
Day uno, numero uno. You know, I watched the first episode the other day.
How was it? How did I do?
It was...
I was nervous. I was very nervous.
I have no. I'm just kidding. No, it was.
I remember I did go back. I think watch part of it, and I was like, oh.
No, I thought it was a solid show.
I didn't develop
the
into the woman I am today yet.
Honey, you have always developed into the woman that you are today. No, I thought it was a solid show. Like we had fun, we laughed.
You're a butterfly now.
I am. I have come out of my cocoon, and now I'll be starring in the remake.
Never in a cocoon. Well, how has it been for you these past 4 years?
It's been great. I was going to say what Tami said. I think when we went to Day of Days the first time, and we were leaving the Coffee Bean to walk to the press area, and we were walking, and someone was like, Mark, Tony, James, and I was just like,
what?
Like I'm thinking it's just like somebody I know from like and I was just like, oh shit, people actually watch us.
Yeah.
That was kind of cool because I was like, oh, that's kind of
Yeah.
cool. They actually know who we are.
Yeah.
So.
Because we sit here in the studio and we don't know. Well, I mean, we can see who's watching, but we kind of don't know. I mean, it's kind of like, with you guys, filming on set and doing this great work, and then you're like, is anyone going to watch it?
Yeah,
like, what
you
do
live in
people
a kind
think
of
and everything
bubble.
like that?
Yeah.
Well, even in Los Angeles, you do. Where
Yeah.
I'm sure
Yeah.
on the day-to-day, you're living your life, and then if you go to an airport or you're at the daytime Emmys, a place where you're more likely to run into someone who knows your work, then it's sort of a fun reminder.
Yeah.
So, the past 4 years have been great. And like I said before, we do this show for the fans, for them to have a place to come in and talk about the show, but also to meet wonderful, talented people from the show as well. So,
and everyone's been so generous with their time.
Yes.
You and other members of the cast.
Absolutely,
And
Billy Flynn.
they've been amazing.
Lord.
Just thought I'd mention.
Yes.
And if you go anywhere near him. Hey, Billy. Hi, Gina.
And of course, we have to give a shout out to our other co-hosts. We started off with Peter
yes.
Ramos.
We've had so many.
I know. Peter Ramos, Matthew Evan Payne, and then now
James Lott Jr.
James
Lott
Lott
Jr.
Jr. And then now the additions of
And
Michael and Tami.
a quick hot second of James Lee. The day that he came and just sat in a chair and didn't really talk. Love you, James. I'll meet you at Mickey's later.
The shade. All right, so yay, happy anniversary to us.
Happy
Yay,
anniversary.
here's to many more.
Should we cheers?
I feel like there's somebody
Cheers.
else we're missing.
Cheers.
I like how you guys sat me as far away as possible.
Well, because we know how dangerous you can
Rude.
be. All right, so
Yeah, we can hardly hear you from here.
I know. That's why I got my Madonna mic.
I was thinking more
Girl.
Brittany, but okay. So now we're going to take time to take your phone calls and to talk to Greg about all things Greg.
Yes.
Woohoo!
First off...
Or do you prefer Matthew?
is there
I'll answer to
is there
whatever you want to call me.
some other alias that we should know about? No, are we good? We're okay? It's
I mean,
great.
there's
It's great.
for
Okay.
today.
Okay,
Yeah,
well,
sure.
for today. For coming into this role, like, how has it been for you just kind of creating Leo?
Well, I mean, I didn't create. I like to think that I sort of helped collaborate.
Collaborate then. I mean, you brought him to life. Like,
Yeah.
he was there laying on the page.
Sure.
And then you were like...
It's been really fun because I think
I
I think it was my goal was to not have him be this sort of mustache twirling, just caricature villain.
Yeah.
And so so I something that people have said to me is that it appears as if I'm having a lot of fun in this role, and that was something that a choice I made. I was, and I was like, well, Leo should be having fun too because he's holding all the cards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And and he's enjoying himself because he's drunk all the time and shopping, and so yeah, it's been really fun cultivating the role. And it's funny because the circumstances are so serious, but there was attempted murder, and there's a lawsuit and all like really real world high stakes stuff. Yet it's got such a fun tongue in cheek aspect to it. So it's been beyond rewarding and enjoyable.
Now, okay, we'll take our first caller. We have him on, right? Hello, caller. Welcome to AfterBuzz TV. You are on live. What's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Inglewood, California. My name is James Lott.
James.
I'm calling from the airport.
No.
James Lott Jr. was one of our co-hosts as well, who has gone on to do such wonderful things as putting out albums and writing books.
Cool.
And
Poetry.
he's too popular and famous for us. But right now he's battling a cold. He would have been here with us live, but he's sick in bed.
Well, I'm glad you're not here.
Yeah, no, I know you are. No, I know you guys do not want me there. No, I'm at home, holed up under a blanket, drinking hot chocolate.
James Lott Jr.
I gotta say, first of all, happy anniversary, everybody.
Oh, thank you.
This show changed my life. Being on the show changed my life, and the friendships I got from the four of you in that room.
You're welcome.
Are just immeasurable.
You're
welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Wow.
Okay,
It really touched me.
so Greg.
Yes, sir.
I've been a fan of yours since obviously Young and the Restless. Kevin did a bunch of doozies over there when you were on that show.
Yeah.
You did a lot of stuff over there with Kevin. I want to ask you, when you found out that Judith was coming on to play your mother once again, were you just like giddy with glee? Were you just jumping up and down going, yes?
Well, I wasn't jumping up and down because I was driving.
Okay.
But yes, in fact, I mentioned earlier, Judith gave an interview where she said that she and I were laughing like schoolgirls, which we were. So yeah, we were both. It was a super happy reunion. She's the greatest, and I'm glad we got to play together. That was a really lovely surprise.
It must be a nice safe space for you as an actor, knowing you already know each other as actors.
Yeah, I said we just sort of like jumped right into it, and there was not even a minute of can I trust this person? Do I have a connection with? Like, it was all there, so we just got to go right into the work. Which when you can manufacture it if that doesn't exist, which I've had to do with other relationships I've had to play, but. Yeah, there's it's such a rich history, and it's such an important relationship, mother and son, and I even call her Mumsy or off camera.
Well, I'm gonna get off the phone so you want people to call in. But my last thing is that I love how gay your character is. It makes me so happy.
Wait,
I'm
what?
like,
Leo?
I can relate to. I'm
I do
so
too.
happy. Thank
I do
you,
too.
Leo.
Yeah, it's I've wanted to play a gay character for. I mean, I've played gay characters, but on a soap
Right.
I never.
Right.
Yeah.
So getting to play a gay villain, it's like, when do I have to start
Groundbreaking.
acting?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Well, you're doing the best job.
Thanks.
So you
Had a lot of
guys,
fun.
happy anniversary.
Thank
Hopefully
you.
4 more
Thank you,
years,
James.
whatever, on the air. I'll be in the studio. I think next week I'll be on the show.
Awesome.
with you guys.
Yes.
Yes. you'll be
Sorry I
joining us
missed you.
next
Feel
week.
better.
Yes, feel better, James.
Thank you, Ray. That's why I'm staying in. I'm going to feel better, but I'll be on the show next week, and everybody have a great evening.
Thank
You
you,
too.
love you.
James.
Bye, James.
Bye, James.
Bye.
And if you guys would like to call in, please call 424-354-8302. That's 424-354-8302. Piggybacking off of what James was saying about playing a gay character, I have deemed Leo as the stereotypical gay. Because I feel like, like Sonny and Will are kind of like the nice gays, but then I feel like when you think of like a gay man, insert Leo.
Okay.
You're saying gay men can't be nice?
I mean, they can be, but then like someone who kind of comes in and like the
who's got the attitude? Who's gonna spill the tea?
Yes,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
it's very sassy and
Sure.
all
There
that,
hasn't
like
been a
it-
gay villain yet. There's only been nice, so
Yeah.
it's nice to mix it up.
Yes, and I think that it is no one. Like I think there's a version of Leo I think is like Kim Cattrall's character in Sex and the City,
Right.
right? Sort of like, very confident, very arch, and and slutty.
Yeah.
And I think it's sort of that. I wonder if like people think that character is too much of a slut or too over the top or whatever. And I say, well, no, she's just sort of like an amalgamation of maybe a heightened version of that person that we know. And
Yes,
Leo is
exactly.
kind of that. And it's the ultimate in inclusivity that you can have a gay character that doesn't just have to be the nice guy who, is sort of like bobbling
Playing it
around.
safe, which is playing it safe.
Yeah. And so I think I'm really happy to be playing this role. And I back to what I was saying earlier about moving the cultural needle forward. I think this does that, even if Leo does things and acts in a way that people don't like.
I know it's something that we've talked about, in the perfect world, eventually it's not a gay storyline.
Right.
It's just another storyline on a daytime drama, soap opera and drama. And this makes it more real.
Yeah, because again, Leo hasn't done anything that any of the other characters on the show haven't done.
Yeah.
Right?
And it's
blackmail,
nowhere near as
luring people into bedrooms,
sexual coercion.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's all the same.
He's just happens to be gay while he's doing it.
Exactly.
This is true.
He's not burying anyone alive. I mean, people have done some really wicked stuff.
They've done some things.
Will and Sonny rolled me up in a rug. Is anyone giving them a hard time about their morals?
Right.
No.
Brady did.
Well,
No.
Leo is. Leo is.
Leo, come on. Leo's the one with the moral compass.
Right.
And condoms.
We have a caller on the
compass and
line.
condoms.
Hello, caller. Welcome to AfterBuzz TV's Dishin Days. You're on live. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hey, it's Alexandra de Jesus and Susie.
Oh, hey! How are you? Oh, you finally got in and were able to call in.
They've been in the
everything.
chat room.
They have been. She yelled at me a little while ago saying, oh, pay attention to me. Where you at? I've been trying to talk to you.
Because you always tell me that I'm never on and I never talk to you, so there you go.
Well,
So
thank
there
you
you
for
go.
coming on.
It's really nice to get through. I've always been a fan of this show, as well as Greg Rikaart. You are phenomenal. You are a breath of fresh air on that soap.
Yes.
Thank you.
It is so nice to see you. My question for you is, if you had to work with anybody on or off of canvas that's on right now, who would you pick and why, or what storyline would you pick and why?
Good question.
Yeah, it's a great question. Oh, gosh. I'd love to work with Christian. I think she's terrific. I'm basically going to just pick people that I didn't get a chance to work with, because I did get to work with Drake and Deirdre. Christian would be fun. I wish I would have crossed paths with Chriselle, because she's villainous and sort of has that like twinkle in her eye that would be fun. So yeah, I don't know. I guess those are those are the first two names that came to my mind.
Those are good ones.
Okay. All right. I think that you would have done well with anybody. We actually saw Eric Marsoff this weekend, and we asked him about that wonderful kiss and if you maybe turned him gay. He told us that didn't happen.
That was out of the blue.
We were kind of upset because I feel like he would have been faithful with you, since he can never find any luck with women.
Well,
Very true.
Maybe
got a
Leo will
point.
just have to try harder next time.
Yes.
This is true.
Brady.
And he does hop from bed to
Please,
bed.
please do.
Okay.
All right, well, thank you.
I don't think he would have drugged you like Xander. So
There you go. There you have it. Well, thank you for finally calling in.
yes, happy anniversary to you guys.
Thank
I
you.
have Martin, Tony, and here James. Have a wonderful time.
Thank
for the
you.
call.
Thanks
Bye.
for calling in. Bye. I think, do we have, nope, that's it. Yeah, that Brady kiss totally like threw me for a loop.
Caught us
but
off guard.
I was like, go for it, girl. Like,
Yeah.
Because it
I
was
was
one of
nervous
those
about
moments.
that.
Were
Again,
Yeah, just because I really just sort of had to like plant one on him in
Yeah.
a way that was, not something I do in my normal life
right.
anymore.
But this is acting.
there's nothing to draw from, right? Yeah.
It's been weeks since I've done that.
Okay.
So I was nervous about it, but it was fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was a good sport.
There was a teeny tiny little moment where I was like, man, he gets to kiss everybody. Like, lucky him.
Yeah.
We have a caller on the line. Hello, welcome to AfterBuzz TV's Dishin Days. You're on live. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hi, this is Kimberly. I'm from Maryland.
Hey, Kimberly from Maryland.
Hi, Kimberly.
What's your question or comment?
I have a question and a comment. My comment was, did anybody see Paul Tefler's Instagram page where
That's
he
a
did
question, Kimberly.
oh, true. The WTF. He had a picture of Sarah saying that she didn't want to sleep with Xander.
Oh,
and his face on it is
WTF.
so funny, you have to see it. And then my next question is for Leo. Do you want to find love in Salem with anybody or a new character, Terrence?
Oh.
Okay, so let me give you the backstory on Terrence. So ever since I was a little tiny tot for Christ, I have wanted to be on Days of Our Lives. And so throughout the 4 years of this show, I have always deemed myself as Maxine's son. Maxine was a nurse in Salem. And I gave him a name just recently named Terrence, who was supposed to come in. Oh, I paired myself with everyone. I was supposed to be with Paul. I was supposed to be with Will at one point. It's just been everyone. So now she's asking if Leo and Terrence...
Would we fall in love? No, but we would definitely have sex.
Okay.
You know what? I think this would be a good pair because like you could do all the villain stuff and then I would be like the sidekick that's trying to help you implement all the villain stuff. So we could be like two.
You could say like,
gays.
"Oh, Leo," all the time.
Yeah.
But I just want Leo. I don't want Leo to fall in love. I want him to just keep
living,
just
causing havoc.
Yeah. I like that about the character. Just shaking everything up, which is good. All right. Well, thank you so much for calling in.
Thank you, Kimberly.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kimberly.
Bye.
Thanks.
Bye. I feel like the storyline with
Terrence and Leo.
One day.
I think if you could see it, Tony would be blushing.
That would be Teo.
This is true.
Teo, yeah.
Oh. I like this. I like where this ship is
like
going.
Millie.
Or Lawrence has a ring to it.
That's right, Laren.
I like it. I like all of it. If anyone from Days is watching, we have another caller. Hello, welcome to AfterBuzz TV's Dishin Days. You're on live. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hey, Tony, it's Jacob from Texas.
Hey, Jacob.
Jacob.
Happy anniversary to you guys. I really enjoyed the show.
Thank you.
Another longtime fan.
And before I get to my question for Greg, I just have to ask, Mark, is he getting ready to be being morninged for a couple weeks now that Billy Flynn is going to be off the show?
Well, yes, because he won't be in my living room from 1 to 2 o'clock Monday through Friday. But I'll text the bitch and we'll go have lunch, so we'll be good. But thank you for your concern.
Restraining order has finally came in, huh? I guess you got the restraining order. Yeah, wait, he won't be in your living room anymore.
Gina allows me to spend time with him now, so we've gotten over that hurdle.
The life and styles of Billy Flynn and Mark
The
J.
Freeman Flynns, as I like to call us. We're hyphenating.
And what's your other question, Jacob?
Greg, I had a quick question for you. By the way, I've enjoyed your work on Days of Our Lives. I've enjoyed your work on Young and the Restless for years.
Thanks.
As well.
Thank you.
If you weren't an actor, what would you be doing if you weren't an actor?
Good question.
Yeah, it's a good question. I think I'm interested in architecture and design. I think that's an avenue I think I might have pursued if it weren't for the arts.
Still artistic in a sense.
Yeah, for sure.
I think I always say like
Creative.
if I need a creative outlet.
Yeah.
So it doesn't if I'm having a lull, a work lull, as long as I have some way of scratching that creative itch. So something along those lines where I'd get to be creative is probably where I'd go.
Where do you hope to have the Leo character go? Because they haven't taken it so far.
Because you've taken
haven't
it
you
pretty
kissed
far,
yet?
yeah.
Yeah, taken it so far. Play on words.
Let's see. Maybe Eric and Rex are roommates, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
For now.
Yeah.
Maybe they need another roommate.
There you go.
Hey, it would be like the real Paul Springsteen version of Three's Company.
Exactly.
There you go.
I want to be Chrissy.
Who would want to be
I
Chris?
think that was implied.
Listen, give me a pair of short shorts and a tight
Right?
shirt and some roller skates, and I am there.
That's what you wear every night.
Before I let you go, I just wanted to say congratulations on your new primetime gig, by the way.
Oh, thanks.
Yes.
Thank
Yes.
you very much.
Yes.
For those who don't know, I worked on Modern Family this week.
Yay! For that.
And
So, yeah,
I
it'll
just
be fun.
wanted to say, keep up the good work, everybody. I really enjoyed this show. I'm glad I finally got to call in because I haven't called in a while.
Wow.
Thank you,
We haven't
Jacob.
taken calls in a while. Thank you so much, Jacob.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you, Jacob.
Bye.
Have a great week. Bye.
You know, going off of what you were saying about if you weren't an actor, what it is that you would like to do, kind of doing some backstory and research on you, and having grown up in New York and Brooklyn.
I was born in Brooklyn. I
You're
grew up
born
on Staten Island.
in Staten
Yeah.
Island. But you interned. You were an intern
Oh,
in
yeah.
Washington, D.C.
Yes, I
in
was.
the first semester in college kind of thing.
Yeah, when I was...
Which my wheels were thinking was politics
It
something?
was, yeah. Until I got there. It was, it was something that interested me, and it still does, but it wasn't my passion.
Yeah.
And it was, I was also working for my congressman who, from Staten Island, who at the time was this really conservative guy, and I was sort of odd man out in the office. And I was the intern, so I wasn't really like speaking my mind about my opinions. And everyone was lovely, and it was also a different time politically where you can absolutely have friends on the other side of the aisle. And I think in the real world you still can. It's just not on social media because everything is so black and white. But it was a super fun experience, and I used to give tours of the Capitol building to constituents that would come. And politics is absolutely an interest, but not a passion that I'd want to.
Because you're very vocal,
yeah.
on social media.
Yeah,
So
I feel like
it
I've
kinda made
dialed that
sense.
back a bit because it's a bit of like a fool's errand, right? Like you think you're going to change somebody's mind.
You're
in
not.
140 characters.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're not.
No, you're not.
Now, many fans, of course, because of your time on YNR, we all heard the devastating news with Christoph St. John, and many just want to know your thoughts about what happened and your relationship with him.
Well, I think I haven't spoken to Christoph. I hadn't spoken to Christoph in some time. I think we both were having really significant life changes all happening around the same time. And his son passed away in 2014. I was around that time getting married and getting pregnant, and big life changes in for both of us. And I remember the last conversation I had with him, the last significant conversation I had with him, we were in the parking lot after work one day after Julian had passed away. And he had Brando with him when Brando, his dog, was just a puppy. And we were, it was mostly small talk. And it's that thing. And I saw an interview that Eric did this week where he said, like, you don't know if you should broach the subject or not. And it's sort of this elephant in the room. And on one hand, you sort of want to normalize things. And it's the same thing they say if you run into someone who you know is sick. Don't ask them about their health, but just ask them how their weekend's going.
And Eric said he kind of regrets not going there.
Yeah, and I had that same thought, but there was always a sadness with Christoph following that, and I can't even imagine having to try and navigate or recover from what he had to deal with. So yes, it was very sad, and I think I found myself a lot this week spending a lot of time thinking about Brighton and Crystal and Daniel, the people that were really in his inner circle, and his family who were most immediately affected by it. But yeah, it made me sort of miss everybody there and very sad because Christoph was, as you all know, just a lovely, wonderful guy.
Yeah, and it definitely had an effect, not only just in the soap world, but also just in the entertainment world. Everyone had nothing but great things to say about him. So,
and also just the cultural impact that he had as an actor and the character had is not to be diminished.
Yeah, exactly. So we here at Dishin Days send our thoughts and prayers to his family and everyone over at YNR. We're keeping you guys in our hearts with that. So
I think
let's take a call.
Yeah.
Hello, caller. Welcome to AfterBuzz TV's Dishin Days. You are on live. What's your name and where are you calling from?
It's Mike Riley from New York.
Hey, Mike
Oh,
Riley.
Mike Riley. This is you want to talk about some villain stuff? When it comes to Mike Riley and Mark J. Freeman about Billy Flynn, this is the moment where we go and grab
I mean, there really
popcorn
isn't
and
a
just sit here.
competition. Let's be serious.
Oh, see?
Mike Riley.
Hi, Mike Riley. You know I'm a fan. What's your question or comment?
Well, I have to say, I've been on the line since Tami asked Greg about the Washington question, so I feel like I've been on a conference call.
We knew it was you. We were making you wait.
Well, I'm very patient, Mark.
Clearly.
Anyway, I don't really have a question. I just have compliments and accolades for Greg. Because
Go
I think
on.
he's a wonderful addition to the show.
Sorry, I'm just texting my husband that I'm going to be late because I want to hear all your compliments.
Well, I just think you're a wonderful addition. First of all, you're very smart, very well spoken.
Thank you.
I'm totally digging how velvety smooth your voice is. Very breathy. Terrific. But what I love
Velvety
about
smooth.
the character of Leo is that, I mean, he's gone through kind of a journey. And I know when you're playing a really campy, excuse me, just pardon me, I'm getting over strep throat, so my voice is like going in and out. But when you're playing like a campy character, it's very easy to make it seem a little too one-dimensional. And I think you really like sort of captured the nuances of what Leo is. Because when he first came on, you know, he was sent there to take Sonny's money away, but you could see that there was a little bit of remorse and regret because Leo actually liked Sonny, but then the character kind of changed and went a little bit over the top with wanting the money. And then once Sonny and Will killed him and he came back, you know, he was back full force.
Yeah.
Super campy, which I love, and you're really playing the part amazing. Your scenes with Paul Tefler, amazing.
Yes.
And now the addition of Leo's mother, that's sort of tempering down the campiness and allowing you to bring another level out, which is, you know, sort of like, I'm sure will be uncovered soon with what's going on with your past and your dad. But you're doing a terrific job of really playing the layers of what could be a really one-dimensional, campy character, and to that I commend you.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. I mean, I'm glad it's coming across that way. To me, I just felt like it would be not as interesting and fun for me to make him one-dimensional and, like I said earlier, kind of mustache twirly, a caricature of a bad guy. So,
right.
You know, finding his humanity is frankly makes him easier to play because we're all capable of doing bad things.
Absolutely.
We all do bad things, and we don't wake up thinking like but like sometimes our actions could.
I was gonna say, like,
You know, sometimes
There's always one.
But sometimes our actions negatively affect other people, and you know, so it's that, and so yeah, thanks for all that.
Oh.
No, absolutely. I mean, that's all I really had to say. Happy anniversary, everyone.
Thank you.
Mike Riley.
See you on for. I feel like I've been with you the whole time.
You have.
have.
Co-host from afar.
Yes.
And Mark, I just want to say to Mark, not related to the show. Every time I watch RuPaul's Drag Race, I wish we were friends in real life because you're the person I immediately want to text. So I'm really
Text me,
enjoying
girl.
the season, and
I won't
I'm
answer,
enjoying
but
your
you can text
review
me.
show as well.
Thank you, Mike Riley.
Kudos on the review show.
Yeah, I'll be moving over there after this, so stay tuned.
I will be there. All right.
Thanks, Mike
Bye,
Riley.
Thank you, Mike Riley.
All right, so we are going to wrap things up so that Greg doesn't feel like we're about to pull a Sierra and kidnap him. So we're going to give you a quick sneak
Weekly
peek
preview
on what's going to happen next week on your favorite soap opera, Days of Our Lives.
Week of the year. The Valentine's Day.
These are for you.
Oh.
Get ready
She's missing?
Again?
I'm gonna find Sierra.
to be swept off your
Oh.
Yes.
I couldn't
Lord.
see. I couldn't see. Was
Valentine's
Billy in
Day.
that?
No. Okay, so they're gonna burn the cabin down again. Well, we gonna have to talk about
I
it
know,
again
we're gonna
next
have
week.
to talk
They're gonna-
about it.
That poor Sierra. You know what? She's not gonna want to go to no cabin ever again because her and cabins just don't mix.
No, she's not a woodsy person.
It's nice that Ben is
No
saving her
hiking.
from a fire instead of starting a fire.
Well, he didn't
He
start
started that
it,
fire.
obviously.
Michael's
We'll
sticking with
see.
his
I'm
theory.
sticking with my convictions, and I will totally eat crow if I am wrong.
Fine, we'll get prepared
I
to
have
eat
about
crow.
12 out front of my
Plenty of crow.
apartment I'll be bringing in
The
for
real
you.
question is, though, I couldn't tell, but does Leo kiss anybody this week? I mean, there's so many options. Or is he all kissed out?
Never.
No, he doesn't kiss anybody. I don't think.
Aw, that makes me sad.
I don't
On
think.
Valentine's Day.
But he has an eventful Valentine's Day.
Okay.
Listen, in true Leo form, he would have a very eventful Valentine's Day. All right, well, that has been our
Lord.
show. Before we head out, Michael Mattis,
Yeah.
tell the folks where they can find you.
You can find me on Instagram at MLMattis and on Twitter at MLMattis1.
Tami Goveia.
You can find me on Twitter at Tami Goveia and Insta and Facebook, Tami Goveia Official.
Mark J. Freeman.
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Lorraine Love, LORAYNE
And so that the fans can cyberstalk you and keep up with you, where can they find you, Greg?
On Insta and Twitter at Greg Rikaart.
And of course, you guys can find all of us on Dishin Days on Facebook and Instagram and _Dishin Days on Twitter. And you can find little old me on all social media platforms at Lounging with Tony. Thank you guys so
His
much.
grinder handle, too.
I beg your pardon.
He's on Scruff. He's a classy lady.
Oh, Scruff. Sorry.
I am not on
Sorry.
either one of those. I have no idea what those are. I am on ChristianMingle.com.
Lies.
That's where Leo and Terrence are going to meet.
That's right.
Christian Mingle.
We're just two gals trying to go to Bible study. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next week. Greg, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you,
I
Greg.
really
It's so fun,
appreciate
you
it.
guys. Thank you.
Bye, you guys.
Bye.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.